Welcome to Buck Up. I've had a lot of questions about what goes on behind the scenes here at Buck Up. And, well, I haven't really. I've had no questions, actually. But if you were to ask that question, my dog just asked the question, but he knows the answer. It's so silly. Nothing. Nothing goes on behind the scenes at all. There's possibly a wardrobe change, possibly a little touch up with the makeup, but other than that, it's just cooking and cleaning. So I wanted to give you that inside look. You're welcome. Okay, so today I have a fun little celebrity tale. My son is asleep, which I think is the right choice, and if I could do it, I would. But if you're not asleep, then I have a fun little tale for you about Conan O'Brien, who I think is one of the funniest people ever. Go on YouTube, just throw in Conan O'Brien and have a laugh. He's hysterical. But anyway, this was a long time ago. I was living in the city, and I was working. I was working at a company on the Upper West Side, and I'd been sent down to do this payroll course or something. And I decided I'd walk home. Every time I start to tell a story, I just think about how bizarre these things are. But anyway, so I'm on my way home, and I decide to walk, and I'm walking through like the NBC Plaza, and it's packed because I believe it was the Christmas tree lighting. Was it? Must have been. I don't know. Anyway, so I have to go to the bathroom, which is pretty typical, especially now after 3 kids. But anyway, so I decide I'm going to go to the bathroom in the NBC building because it's there and I can hardly move through, and I figure I'll cut through to the other side. So I go in, and somebody says to me, "Hey, you want to come up and be in the audience for Conan O'Brien?" It was a brand new show. Of course, I was like, sure, but I do need to use the bathroom. So when they brought me upstairs, I went and used their bathroom, and then they led me into a seat where I could really see very well. I guess every seat you can see pretty well. But anyway, so I'm sitting there, and let's see if I can remember this enough so that it's not a boring story. Conan comes out, and he was so made up, and he has such a light features and kind of like this, almost looked clownish. He did. I love you, Conan, but you did. You looked a little bit like a clown. Anyway, now I knew I was going to see my friend the next day. Okay, I was going to visit, and the reason I'm saying this is because a little way into the show they were doing this little skit, and they sat Adam Sandler right behind me to do the skit, and they had these people on pretending to be animal experts, and what does your dog's behavior mean? And then he was sitting behind me to pose a question, and I knew my friend would be watching, so I had to think of a way to communicate with her so that I didn't make a complete fool out of myself, and also so that she would know for sure. And so when his head was right here and I could see myself in the monitor, I just went like this. And sure enough, she saw it, and we laughed. We were absolutely had quite a chuckle. So that's my Conan O'Brien story. And actually, I have another Conan story. I was working on the Upper West Side, same company, and he was looking at apartments in the building. And I was listening. Robin was going to be on Conan O'Brien that night, and I was listening to Howard Stern, and they were talking about Conan and how she was going to be on Conan, and I had to go down to the lobby and across to go up to another office because it was like a residential building, but my boss's father owned the building, so there were offices in different parts of the building. And I was crossing along, and who's sitting there? Who's just sitting there? Conan, sitting there waiting. Of course, I had to say to him, "I just heard they're talking about you on the radio. Howard Stern was just talking about you." And he said, "Oh, yeah, that's right, because Robin's coming on." Twice. I think there was a third time I just saw him on the street. And I will quickly tell you that I did see Jerry Seinfeld because I'm on the Upper West Side in my head. This is how that went. I was graduating from my graduate school. It was education, Bank Street. It was the day of the graduation. I went to meet my friend at her Upper West Side apartment, and we came out. We were heading to go to graduate, and who do I see? Jerry Seinfeld in a hat. Now, the problem with Jerry Seinfeld is you just feel like you know him. It's like you think he's going to know you, and that's the sad part, is that they don't know you. And if you walk up to them and act like they should recognize you too, they're just going to think you're really strange. I can tell you this from experience. So I just went, you, you, and he just kept walking. But I love him anyway. I mean, how great is he? Comic relief. Comic relief. I love these guys. So shout out to the two of you, and you have a great day. And get on YouTube and look up some fun stuff with these guys. Okay, bye.